Hello class. The next 4 homework assignments, homeworks 3, 4, 5, and 6, are all going to deal with different aspects of working with fractions. This first section deals with what is a fraction and how to tell if two fractions are equivalent. So when we talk about a fraction, we mean a quotient of two numbers, and those two numbers are integers like we talked about before. So things like 2/3, -1/2. The top number is known as the numerator and the bottom number is known as the denominator. Fractions help us to divide things into several parts. The denominator tells you how you're splitting things up. So because that's 3, that's like splitting a circle up into 3 parts. And because the numerator is 2, that's like having 2 of those third parts. Two fractions are known as equivalent if they represent the same part of the whole. So for example, let me take 2 circles. Imagine I've drawn them the same size. This one is divided into 2 pieces. So this is like a fraction with the denominator 1/2. This one is divided into 4 pieces, so this is like a fraction with the denominator 4. This says you have one of those half pieces, and this says you have 2 of those quarter pieces. And as you can see, those are the same parts of the circle, so those two fractions are equivalent. The 1/2 is known as the simplified or the reduced version, but they are actually the same fraction. They represent the same amount. So here's a kind of question you might be asked. I'm going to write a fraction that's equivalent to 3/5 but has denominator 15. I could do this with a picture, taking my circle which is divided into fifths. Well, how about I use like a candy bar? Take a candy bar. So there it's divided into fifths, and I could take 3 of those fifths. 1, 2, 3. There's a picture that's 3/5. And then I'm going to break this up into 15 pieces instead. Now there are 15 pieces, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them are shaded in. A lot of times people don't do the visual though, and they do some math. Ooh, that one pencil was a little too light. 5 times 3 is 15, so they do 9 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and that's how we get the new fraction. When we talk about simplifying or reducing fractions, we want to make sure there are no common factors. So that goes back to our previous lesson. No common factors between the numerator and the denominator. So in this case, I have 1/12 over 2/36. And I'm going to use those factor trees from before to see what factors they might have in common. 1/12 ends in a 2, so I know that 2 is one of the factors. And I'm going to do the long division. 2 goes into 11 5 times and gives me 10. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 56 is 7 times 8. 8 is 2 times 4, which is 2 times 2. So I got a 2, a 7, a 2, a 2, and a 2. And for 2/36, I have a 2 that goes in there. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 3 one time. 2 goes into 16 8. 118 is still even. 2 goes into 11 5 times. And into 18 9 times. And so this is 2 times 2 times 59. I can cancel out the 2's, and on the top I have 7 times 2 times 2, which is 28 over 59. If I'm going to simplify the fraction 10 over 55, maybe I can see right away that they're both divisible by 5, so instead of doing a factor tree, I do that, and then I check if there's anything else they have in common, and it turns out now they're done. This might be possible if the numbers are small and or you already know what the factors are. If you have any other questions about simplifying fractions, email me and let me know.